What's up, guys? Derek from moreplatesmoredates.com. Today's video is called, I'm sure you see the title, You Aren't Too Big for Men's Physique. So it's not really a rant, it's sort of just like me giving my opinion on something I've seen commonly lately. So, obviously up to somewhat recently in the past couple of years, there's been open bodybuilding and there's been men's physique. And a lot of times you see in the open category guys who've been, going hard trying to get their pro card for years and years and years, and they just don't have the genetics to do it. They eventually, a lot of them will just say, oh, well, I can't get big enough for men's open, so I'm just going to do men's physique. And then a lot of them do very well, actually. Like Jeremy Buendia, for example, he used to compete in open bodybuilding, and as far as I know, he was like a very, average regional competitor, and obviously his genetics don't allow him to get as big as an open guy, or else he'd be in that already because he had been trying for years prior. And then men's physique came out, and then obviously his body composition, his symmetry, and his overall structure was ideal for that, and he switched in and he killed it. And a lot of guys in bodybuilding kind of went the same route, although they weren't as genetically gifted in the men's physique structure category as Jeremy. A lot of former aspiring bodybuilders became men's physique competitors. And then as the years progressed, men's physique got bigger and bigger and guys got more jacked and more jacked. And then classic bodybuilding came out, and this, rendered an opportunity for a lot of guys that didn't want to take as much as they need to become an open competitor to do classic. But in my opinion, it's mostly guys who genetically don't respond insanely well to drugs, and just their size allows them to compete at a high level in classic as opposed to open. So obviously there are exceptions to the rule, like Chris Bumstead, for example. He's kind of like the perfect candidate for classic. But in my opinion, a lot of these guys who are in classic, if they took the same drugs and they just so happen to blow up to 300 pounds, or they just had the genetic response that allowed them to get as big as these open guys, I'm pretty sure you'd see them in open. You wouldn't see them trying for classic. So that's sort of my opinion on it. But in particular, with regards to this video, you see a lot of guys in men's physique that have been trying, hammering away for years and years and years, and they're just not really moving up the ranks, or they are, but they're not winning shows. They're just, placing decently, but it's not as good as they want. And then now they're all talking about, the judges say I'm too big for men's physique, so I'm going to move to classic. And it's like, to me, it's just mind-boggling that these guys don't see the truth behind what's occurring, and it's just that they're genetically not gifted enough to win a men's physique professional show. And obviously this is just an objective opinion. I'm by no means saying these guys have bad physiques or anything. They're obviously the best in the world. But a lot of these guys who are, starting to transfer over into men's classic from men's physique, these are guys who weren't doing as well as they wanted in physique and got sick and tired of placing second, third, or, lower than that. And then they'd think, I haven't been able to take a real off season, so that's why I haven't grown. And if I do classic, I can really do that, and then I'll grow enough and win in classic. And the reality is, these guys, then they join classic and they just get crushed even worse. And it's because they don't have the structure or the genetic response to these drugs to be able to win a pro show. And I don't know, to me, some of these guys I'm actually fans of, and it's just disheartening for me to see them just get killed even worse by transferring to something where they're totally outclassed. I think perhaps the only exceptions to this might be Arash Rabar, who was in men's physique and then classic opened, and he actually is able to gain that size because he was a relative, he hadn't really put in he actually has the genetic response to put on that size, and he'd been limited in the men's physique category for quite some time. But there are a lot of guys who have almost maxed out what they can achieve physique-wise, taking tons of drugs, eating tons of food, having full off seasons, on seasons, and going hard as hell. And they still just can't cut it in men's physique, and they think, oh, I'm going to go to classic and I'll probably win there because I can actually, like focus on it properly, whereas men's physique isn't allowing me to grow to my full potential. And it's just not the case. You see guys getting blown out every year. I think Sadiq, he got gifted like a 3rd place finish in the first men's classic Olympia, and then the next one, I don't even think he was top 10 even. I don't, maybe he was, but if he was, he probably shouldn't have been, in my opinion. And there are just a lot of guys that are going from men's physique where they actually were meant to stay and getting blown out in classic because they think that, oh, it's like better for me. Like another example is Sergi Constance, for example. I'm a huge fan of his physique, don't get me wrong. Amazing, crazy fitness model look, razor sharp from the front, but he has 0 back, and he didn't do well at the men's physique Olympia, and anyone who knows anything about, structure could have predicted that he would have got blown out once he stood on stage with these guys who have crazy thick backs and tapers. And then he thinks he's going to take an off season and go to classic and do well because he's too big for men's physique. Like, no, he's going to get crushed in classic. And I don't know. To me, it's like, because I've been working out for 8 or 9 years now. And I know if I was I've competed in men's physique before, and I know if I was not doing that well, I wouldn't go to classic thinking I'd do better. I would think I'd get destructed. Whereas these guys truly are deluding themselves into thinking the reason they're not doing well in men's physique is because they're too big. But there are guys in men's physique as big as them doing way better just because they have the full package. So anyways, sort of a rant. And, if you didn't like this topic, sorry, it was just something I've been seeing commonplace, and I wanted to, just talk about it, whatever. I thought you guys might like my opinion on it. And don't get me wrong, I am a fan of a lot of these guys that are transferring. I just disagree with their decision to do so and think it's a poor career choice. So anyways, thank you guys for watching. Please like, subscribe. Check out my blog, moreplates.com. Subscribe there. Talk to you soon.